NJ show. How is it going, everyone? Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, right? It's Thursday, the 20th of October. We're getting there. We're getting there. This bear market is certainly taking the best out of all of us. Really pushing us. It feels just the same way 2018 felt. People are starting to wonder if you're crazy staying into crypto. So I know how you guys all feel. I certainly know how you guys all feel. I'm here on YouTube every day. How is it going, everyone? Let me know in the chat how you guys are all doing. um Thank you, Phil, for saying the audio is good. I'll do the shout out in just a moment. It's good to see everyone. Good morning to some of you. Good morning to anyone who's in the US, I think, or Canada, or them areas. Good afternoon. Good evening to wherever you're tuning in from. It's good to see all of you here in the chat. We're gonna have we've got a few things to talk about today. All right. Yesterday we spoke about Aptos, but because of that, we ran behind on some of the things that were going on in the market, things that we kind of need to know, things that we need to know. I was having an interesting conversation with a good friend of mine very recently, and he saluted me for what I was doing. This is exactly what we need to be doing in this bear market. We need to be up to date with everything, because when the next bull market comes, a lot of people won't really know um, what's going on, including us if we're not on point. Okay, so that's what we're trying to eliminate here on this show. All right, so what we'll do is I'll do a quick shout out, I'll do a gentle chat with you guys, and then we'll get straight into it. We've got a few things to talk about today here. Yeah, we do, including that BitBoy stuff that happened yesterday. We shouldn't usually be talking about other influencers on the show, but you know what? It's all over Twitter. Little bit of beef with FTX, Donny. Why not? We'll cover it. So if you haven't already, please make sure you smash the likes. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. If not, we'll wait till the end of the show anyway and make your decision then. All right. Bottom right hand corner takes a second to do. And obviously, a big shout out to Binance, our sponsor. Most of you probably have Binance accounts anyway, but if you're new to crypto and you're looking to get involved with Binance, then the link is in the description below. It shows that you're supporting the channel. It shows the sponsors to keep sponsoring the show and that the show is growing. So if you guys can, if you support the stream, if you enjoy the content, that would be a real big appreciation from my side. All right, thank you very much. Amazing. So let's do a quick shout out and let's see who's here today. We've got Nicholas Giroux, who is always first in the chat. Been a week or two now, bro. You're beating everybody. NJ, my man, what's up? It's good to see you. Crypto Mac, it's great to see you. Elizabeth, very good to see you. Thank you very much, my number one. Alongside Hafuel, good to see you, my bro. We've got Phil, the Flying Frenchman. Why is there a little sort of? There we go. Yeah. Hafuel, good to see you. Phil, the Flying Frenchman, great to see you. Giles, you know what, Giles, I've got a question for you, mate. I've got a question. I was talking to a good friend yesterday, and she was saying that your name is pronounced Gilles or something like that. Is it pronounced Gilles or is it Giles? Because the way I understand it is Giles is an English name. But you let me know, all right? I don't know how you're going to let me know, but let me know anyway if it's Giles or if it's Gilles. All right, I'm interested to know that one. Phil's saying audio is good, video is good, a sponsor is good. Thank you very much. Crypto Mac, are you saying that to me, bro? Because I saw you. Well, I didn't see you yesterday. I'm gonna see you today. Don't worry, I'm gonna see you today. I miss you too, bro. We got J Mope here who says, "Hey mate, thank you Jay for joining the show." We've got J Mo who says, "Yo, good to see you, my bro." KAR Crypto, always working hard, always tuning into all the live streams. I'm seeing him everywhere. If he's not at mine, he's at SC's. If he's not at SC's, at XO's. He's doing the business. So give a big shout out to KAR Crypto, who is an example of what I'm talking about. He's working hard. In the bear market, you don't really get paid. In the bear market, in accumulation periods, you don't really get paid. But if you're putting the work in now and if you're really going for it, that's kind of one of the reasons that you'll make it in the next cycle. A lot of people say lucky, but they don't see what you do in the bear market in order to make that sort of accusation. KAR also says here, Man United, we are back. Yes, that was the most epic example of Ten Hag ball we have seen so far at United. It's been fantastic. I was watching this game yesterday and I was completely shocked. We won't have all performances won't be like that. I think it's going to be up and down. It was the first thing that Ten Hag said, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how the team continues to improve. If we can do that for 90 minutes, back and forth consistently like that every game. Whoo la la! Exciting times are coming for Manchester United. Exciting times are coming. And we've got other supporters here. Mac is a Liverpool supporter. So Mac is saying, KAR, please, man, I like you. Don't ruin it. He's a Liverpool supporter. We'll do one or two more shout outs and then kick off. All right. Manib says, wow, congrats on the sponsor. Good to see you, Manib. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Dad, good to see you, Dad. I don't know what you're saying, Dad, but thank you. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Hamid, Piotr, we've got Joel, we've got Crypto Zenile who says, I'm an NJ Show OG, but I changed my name. Interesting. Who are you? Who are you? Aromatic, it's good to see you, bro. Thank you for joining the show. Crypto Caf. Giles is saying his name is a French name, so it's not Dutch or it's not English. So it's interesting. I don't know what I'd say your name. We've got Microwave. We've got Marta in the chat. We have got Shane in the chat. That's a new name. Welcome, Shane. Thank you for joining the show. We've got John G in the chat. We have got Frederico in the chat. Where are you tuning in from? Frederico, is it actually from Rotterdam, or is it from the office, or is it from the gym, or is it from the caf? Where are you tuning in from? Because I know you like to tune in from random places. Good to see everybody here. Let's kick off the show. So the first thing that I want to talk about here is Bitcoin. All right, just before we go into the new stuff and the macro stuff, quick shout out to Jay. Salam, bro. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Thank you for tuning in, Jay. And Francisco, good to see you. Thank you for joining. All right, let's crack on. Let's crack on. So with Bitcoin, if you guys remember, I cleared up my chart and I said I wanted, everything was a bit too messy. There's so much going on up here. And it was kind of diluting what I wanted to see for Bitcoin. Sometimes when you mark out levels and you don't mark them out properly, what can tend to happen is you start looking at those levels even though price is not anywhere near them. So I just needed a fat refresh, and I'm sure you guys have the same thing. So for those of you who remember, I said that the orange level here, the two orange levels, I said it was time to slowly prepare ourselves into the idea, at the very least, of going into that range. It was about time that we got to that stage where we were going to go into that range. Now, before we get into that range, there is another range right above it, and that is here. So we've got the previous all-time high, which is here. That's the black level, and right below it, I think Essie explained this on his stream yesterday as well. He explained it on this channel too. He's taken this high, and the reason he's taken this high is because this is the initial high that was made. We swing failed it, and we pushed back below. We came back above, we deviated it, got back below, retest, sell off. All right. Now, what I've done is this consolidation here, this little deviation here, this in itself is a range too. Where have we seen that before? We've seen that before right here. Okay, in 2020, November 2020, where we started attacking the all-time high and we started going for it. You see how we ranged here, deviation, break above, hook, and then off we go. So a year or two later, we're 2 years later since then, we've now come back into this range. We are holding into this range. So what do I want to see? So what I'm looking at here is this, okay? Because a lot of people are getting chopped out. It's such a difficult environment to trade. People who are claiming to be making X amount of R, they're not trading. They're not doing it with size. All right. If SC is not making 30, 40 R, then your favorite influencer isn't either. Like, I've been here long enough to know how this game works. It doesn't work like that. So let's have a look. Let's have a look here. What have we got? So rather than pulling it all the way down here, which I could do, there's reasons and arguments that we could use this as a range. But what I'll do is I'm going to bring this up around about here. There we go. That works for me. Okay. And that's the range that we're playing in. It's a horrible range. It's very difficult to make money on both sides because you've got these ugly wicks here as well. We've got lower highs forming here as well. So what am I looking at for Bitcoin? Well, I'm only playing it between two levels. I've taken a few very little scalps, not ones that I can really post on Twitter or online. I'm looking between 20,000 here, and at the very, very lowest, I'm looking at around 17,750. Okay, those are my absolute two targets, and to be quite honest with you, 18,500 is where I'd be looking to trim anything off if I was in a short. Okay, because the market is chopping. The market, it can continue doing this for however long it wants. Also, it can do this, it could do that, and then when you zoom out, this is what it looks like. It could do that. All right. And very, very, very horrible range to trade. Now, if you're looking for the breakout play, the breakout play would come above 20K and the breakout play would happen below 17,500. Now, that said, there is still a pretty big trade that we could take here. Let's say, for instance, we can't make it to these highs. Let's say, for instance, a short setup unfolds, right? So if we go into the hourly now, okay? So notice how we've got lower highs that are forming, all right? Lower highs that are forming. So what we could do here is if we get some sort of, this is the mid-range, all right, at 19,300. This should be actually 19,324 if I'm actually honest. Hold on. There we go. That's better. That's more accurate. So what I'm expecting is maybe a sweep of the mid-range, okay? A sweep of the mid-range like this, maybe take out this high, but once we get back below here, honestly, I'd be looking to play it back down. Once we break below 18.5, I'm expecting a big nuke into at least this low here. Okay? At least that low right there. So that is pretty much what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. At the same time, some altcoins aren't agreeing with this. I am seeing some altcoins that are showing real strength. For example, PYR. Okay, this is not a paid shill. It's not a paid shill. I'm not being paid to shill this. I bring it up whenever I see it happen. It's something that everybody's trading, so it's something that's worth talking about. It's a trending coin, all right? So what I said for PYR a couple of weeks ago, let me see. I don't know if I'll be able to find this on Twitter. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Maybe let me see. Hold on. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I said on Twitter was, and price was just above here. Price was where you seeing these green candles here. I said that we're going to push down. We should probably get a pullback right into this messy mean area here. All right, the mean as in not evil, mean as in mean mode median, the middle, the equilibrium. I said we get a pullback into here and then we can start pushing up. Now, this plan has actually followed, but it's followed in a way that, I wasn't really prepared for. It was 1 wick into that consolidation and then we've carried on. So with PYR, I'm not going to lie, it's looking a little bit sticky. If we get into the 4 hour, it makes a little bit of sense. What I'd be looking for is something like this. Okay, so I'm going to take this high here, drag that out. So what I'd be looking for now is the invalidation is clear, invalidation is here, but that's way too far away for a long right now. What I'd be looking for is I'd want to make this my invalidation right here, okay? So what I'd be looking for is a little bit more of a push up, maybe come back like this, maybe hold above. If we start getting this area here, then we can push up into the $5 area. Now, what is giving me confluence for that? What is making me think that trade setup could actually unfold? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's the weekly time frame. If I remove everything on the weekly, so with the weekly time frame, what we're seeing here is we've got very, very clear resistance right around here, I'd say. Okay. And that falls in at $6.60. Okay. And then that's just the wick. If we go over to the body, which is around right here, that brings us to around $8. Okay. On some exchanges, $8 exact. All right. Now, the way that the weekly is forming, notice how we've got low, we've got higher low, and now it kind of looks like we're making a high low, albeit we are trapped in a range. We are trapped like this. That's true. But $5 looks like it's on the card. And to be honest with you, if we crack $5 and we hold above it, I really think that we're going to get a weekly expansion, a weekly breakout. Okay. All of these candles that we've got here as well, they are not bigger than the range itself. All right. They're not bigger than the range itself. We haven't got any candles like this. You see these ones right here? So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe 1 or 2 candles, get everybody bullish, get everybody excited, see what happens. All right. We'll see what happens. So that's PYR. All right. We'll just have one quick look at Matic and then we'll carry on. Okay. But I don't want to spend too much more time on this. So, sorry. So with Matic, what are we looking at here for Matic? Let me remove some of the noise. For Matic, we've got a very, very obvious range, a range that has given us Confluence many times in the past, okay? I've taken a few trades off this candle here, this daily candle here. I caught, this was a 5-hour trade that I tried to get into. No, it was this one right here. Sorry. It was, no, it was this one. Yeah, it was this one here. Excuse me. It was on the daily, not the weekly. There we go. This trade here, I caught this trade. It was a 5-hour trade and I sold for 1 hour. At 1 hour, I was like, you know what? I'm seeing signs that this is going to push up. And what it did was it rallied to target, it shanked to target, and then rallied up. So frustrating. But it was a good trade nonetheless. Look, profit is profit at the end of the day. So with Matic, what I'm looking at here, it's a little bit difficult to try to sort of gauge what we're looking for in Matic. We've clearly got a channel that's going downwards. We are above support, but we're right below resistance. We're right below resistance. And look at where I've marked my range high. I've marked my range high here at 96 cents or 96 cents. I'll be really honest with you. Can 96 cents come? I'm not sure if 96 cents can come. However, and let me just, whoopsie. However, there we go. However, if it did come, I'll be honest with you, I'd be looking for a short on Matic. Okay, I'd be looking to short this thing, just because it all, although it all depends on what Bitcoin is doing. It this thing it looks like lower high after lower high after lower high. Maybe we could squeeze up to as far as 120. In order to do that, we'd have to break $1, and I don't see that happening. So maybe if we could come up here, get back below, and then I'd be looking to ride it all the way down. Okay, I'd ride it all the way down. Maybe not to 54 cents straight away, but maybe to 75 cents. All right, 75 cents makes a lot of sense to me. All right. That's my take on Matic. So in terms of distribution, I know that the question you was asking earlier on, CFG, was, is it distribution? Yes, it very well could be. Where have we seen it before? We've seen it right here. You see that sideways price action? We're getting that sideways price action here. Okay, so you've got trending environment, you've got a sideways environment, and you've got a trending or sideways, exactly. Okay, so we are starting to see that sideways price action, which is why I'm saying that there's no reason why we can't take this out one more time, get back in, trade it back to 75, maybe a breakout of 75, and I think we're going to finally take out whichever lows that we need. I don't think we'll go as low as 0, but I do think we'll get as, I do think maybe 25 cents. Okay, I do think we can go as low as 25 cents. Why am I saying that? Because of this. All right, this was the consolidation here that led to the market rallying. Okay, notice this consolidation right here. This consolidation, it pushed the market all the way up. We came back, we didn't even retest it for it to go higher. Okay, we came back 2 years later, we tapped this consolidation right here, and what did we do as soon as we tapped it? We 3x'd. All right, 30 cents all the way to 90 something. All right, now if we are going to go lower, I reckon the lowest we'll go is at the bottom of this console. I don't think we're going to go lower than that. Unless we tapped it, went up, tapped it again, went up, tapped it again, then we'd probably break through. All right, but that's what I think for Matic in the sort of near future. I don't think Matic will be in a position where we can look at it and say, look, this is going to go to $2, $3, $4. That's going to take a while before that environment comes back. But nonetheless, anyway, that's it for the charts. We've done 20 minutes on the charts. All right. So let's move on. We're going to move on to this, which is UK inflation. Now, this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about yesterday. And you know, I want you guys to try and engage with me if you can on these subjects. You know, give me your opinions too. If you don't mind, subscribe to the video if you haven't already, and make sure you're liking the video too. Make sure you're liking. We've got 50 people here. Let's see if we can get 50 likes. Hit and hope, you know. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this. This is insane. All right. This is the highest that we've seen ever, I think, ever. All right. And let's read through this together, and then we'll talk about it so that we can break it down in a way that all of us here understand it, and we can walk away with the information that we've got. So number one, it starts off here with a chart, right? Where you see the chart, and okay, maybe it's not the highest that we've been, but we're pretty much there. I think 10.5 may have been the highest in the last sort of 30 years. And look how low we've gotten. We got to a stage where buying houses where the mortgage rates were at an all-time low. All right, it was easy to live between 2015 to 2020. All right, we know that we had a massive spike up in 2008, and this was an economic disaster. All right, think about that. This actually was an economic disaster in 2008, and 2008 is here, right? This is a minor blip in comparison to what we're seeing here in 2022. All right. And we've gotten to a stage now where things are getting a little bit out of control. But what does that mean for us? Does it mean that everything is going to zero? Does it mean that, we're finished? Does it mean that crypto's finished? Well, no, that's not what it means. Let's go through this together now and we'll bring it back to crypto as we end it. All right. Consumer prices in Britain rose to, oh shit, 1 second. There we go. Consumer prices in Britain rose 10.1% in September from a year earlier, continuing their steep climb as the nation grapples with rapidly increasing food prices, high energy costs, and political uncertainty. So, the key words that we're looking for here: food prices and high energy costs, because those are the things that really affect us day to day. The annual inflation rate returned to its fastest pace since 1982, matching the pace set in July. It rose from 9.9% in August. Inflation was expected to peak next month at a slightly higher rate, but a reversal in the government's policy to hold down household energy bills has made the future path of prices even more uncertain. Now, when it comes to the UK Prime Minister, there is a lot of controversy at the moment. There is a lot of opinions going around in terms of her ideas and what she's looking to do in order to try and stabilize this market. Now, the issue that she's got at the moment is if energy prices are as high as they currently are, then how are people going to live in the winter? Winter's already here in the UK and Canada, in a few places, even Netherlands. I was talking to my friend from Netherlands, and she was saying the same thing. Winter is here now. All right, it's getting cold. We need jackets. We need the heating on. We need electricity to power up our heaters, or gas to power up our heaters, radiators. So what do we do? Even to fill up my car. To fill up my car the other day was 90 something pounds, whereas in the bull market it was 40 something. So, what do we do? It's quite an issue, quite a dilemma that the Prime Minister has at the moment in order to try and hold this down. So what she's trying to do is she's trying to make it in a sense where it's easier for people to live, albeit even though it will be as hard as it will be. It will be difficult, but she's going to try and make it easier for us. Now, that said, prices were pushed higher by large increases in the cost of food and, to a lesser extent, hotel and restaurant bills. In September, food prices rose 14.5% last month from a year earlier, the largest annual rise in more than 40 years, according to the Office for National Statistics. Now, I know this sounds a bit boring, right? I know it does. But you've got to think about it from your own perspective. If you've got, say, for instance, you make £1,000 a month, right? You make £1,000 a month, and you're used to making £1,000 a month. You're used to spending that 1,000 a month as well. All right, you've got 300 for your bills, this that. You got 300 for your other expenses, and you've got 400 for yourself. All right. Imagine I told you that your 300 bill would now be 350 or 400. You're going to be thinking, well, hang on a second, this has lowered my quality of life. I'm doing the same work. I'm going back and forth every day. I'm doing everything I need to do. I'm eating the same. It's not like I'm eating any better. And now I'm spending more. Why? What's going on? This is how it genuinely affects people. So, as boring as it sounds, it's a lot of people are suffering from this, and this is just going to get worse in the interim. According to the Office for National Statistics, so high energy costs were still contributing to inflation growing at its fastest pace in decades, but prices increase are widespread across goods and services. So core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, rose 6.5% from a year earlier, up to 6.3% in August. So things are not looking good. Oh, she's cute. That's nice. I don't know if anyone's got a daughter in the chat, big up. It's another sign of the stickiness of inflation that politicians and policymakers are facing all over the world. Over the year through September, consumer prices rose by a record of 9.9% in the Eurozone and 8.2% in the United States, near a 4-decade high. That's nuts. That's absolutely insane. It's absurd the way that this is actually happening. And honestly, between us, we kind of need this to happen. Okay. Obviously, printing, the money printer being on, the money printer doing what it did give us a sexy, sexy bull market. Yes, it did. But now we're here, we're facing the consequences of that market. All right. Now, in terms of facing the consequences of that market, what does that mean? That means that everything that happened in the bull run, we've got to expect the opposite. All right. To simplify it, if you want to make it simpler for yourself, you're pretty much expecting the exact opposite. All right. Now, if you're expecting the exact opposite and the market continues to tank, what if we do finally get that pushback? What if we do finally get into this zone, right, for Bitcoin here? What if we do break into this range and we tap the mid range and the mid range signifies the bottom? Then what? You know, I think personally that this news is massively bearish. But I want you guys to think about something. The news is super bearish, but it's coming out now. It's coming out now after we've tanked all of this. Why isn't this news coming out here? Why isn't it coming out around these areas here? Why do they wait until we get to near the lows to try and make us as scared as possible? Well, the reason for that is because some people will look at this as fear and some people will look at this as a potential buying opportunity. All right. Yes, the global macro is not in a good place. I agree, it's not. But it wasn't in a good place before COVID happened. And that's why they needed to print so much money. They printed all that money. COVID, we were able to free ourselves from the COVID situation that we were in. There was a pandemic, sure. What's to say that they won't do it again? I'm not arguing that they're definitely going to do it again, but what's to say that they're not going to do it again? Something will have to change. And this isn't just about Bitcoin. Bitcoin going back up and the alt market following it, that's just a bonus. But this in general, we can't go from 10% to 15% to 20% to 30%. We can't do that because people won't be able to live. Homelessness will go up. Crime rates will go up. So forget Bitcoin for a second, even though this is a crypto show. The point is that this can't continue. They're going to have to find a way to switch this. Okay? If they find a way to switch this, then as a result, we'll have a risk. The risk off environment will be finished as a result. Okay, if they can create an atmosphere where we can get risk on back, that's when we can also start expecting Bitcoin to start going a bit wild. Okay, now, just under 6 weeks ago, Prime Minister Liz Truss of Britain pledged to freeze household energy bills, one of the biggest sources of inflation increases. Now, I'll explain this to you guys very quickly because this is quite mad what she's saying here. One thing I'll explain to you guys is, why is energy bills the source of the problems with inflation? Why is it the problem? The reason that energy bills are the source of inflation is because everything that we do relies on energy. I'm not talking about everything we physically do, but look, to make this t-shirt, to make this watch, to make this microphone, to make this keyboard, this computer, these screens, to make the YouTube channel that you're watching it on, what does it require? It requires energy. All right, because from the raw materials, manufacturers come, they take those raw materials, they use it to construct something, they build a product, and once they've got the product, that then gets transported to you, which you pay for, and then it's sold to you at a consumer price. All right. Now, if the value of energy continues to soar, it's going to cost more to get those raw materials. Not only is it going to cost more to get those raw materials, it's going to cost more to transport those raw materials once we have a finished product. Once we've got the finished product and the let's say, for instance, let's use Asda, right? I don't know if you guys know what Asda is. Asda or Tesco, those are the grocery stores in London, all right, in the UK. Now, if we take Asda as an example, we take Asda. Asda want to get bread. It's going to cost more to make bread. It's going to cost more to transport it. When they do transport it over, Asda's going to have to sell it to you for a bit more than they paid because they still need to make profit. So those costs are going to roll over to the consumer, and that's where you get the inflation. That's where you suddenly have to pay 15% more for everything that you're buying. Okay. And it doesn't, no, it's not good. But in order to bring it all down, we need to go into an environment where the UK isn't growing anymore. Now, albeit we weren't growing anyway. But obviously, with the COVID crash and everything that happened, the UK stock market cramped up, the US stock market went crazy, Bitcoin went crazy. We were in a full on risk on environment. All right. Now, what we're doing right now is we're keeping up to date with the crypto market so that when the next risk on environment comes, we are there, we are ready, we understand all the macro and fundamentals behind it. All right. So from October for the next 2 winters this week, much of Miss Truss' economic agenda was scrapped by Britain's new finance minister Jeremy Hunt as he tried to restore calm in financial markets, which had seemingly stopped believing in the government's fiscal credibility, which is true, yeah. I don't blame people for feeling this way. You know, this is legit. Everything's crashing, everything's going to shit, which had seemingly stopped. Yep. So Mistrust apologized to lawmakers on Wednesday for making mistakes, but the political turmoil continued a few hours later when a senior cabinet minister resigned. One victim of Miss Hunt's policy reversal was Miss Truss's landmark policy on energy bills. Now Britannians are guaranteed to free a freeze on their bills only until April. After that, the government said it would come up with a less expensive and more targeted plan to help people with their bills. Now, the thing is, when it comes to this, you've got to remember, right? You've got to remember that if you're not paying your energy bills, somebody is, probably going to be the government. That cost is going to have to be revisited at some stage. In the future, tax might go up. In the future, maybe if Bitcoin's going up, the S&P is going up, GBP is going up, all these coins are going up, but you're going to have to pay that back in some way, shape, or form. Okay, they will not pay this for us and let it slide. Money will have to come back out in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it will happen. All right, something's going to have to take a hit in order for that to happen. So the Bank of England has been raising interest rates since December to tackle inflation. At its past 2 meetings, it raised rates by 0.5 percentage point, double its previous moves amid signs of broadening inflationary pressures. Now, the point I'm making here is it's getting worse. Okay. And I did mention on the show a couple of weeks ago that things are going to have to get a bit worse before they get better. Look, things are getting so bad now that we're starting to talk about whether or not the bull market might actually come in 2023. There is only a limit to how much this thing can crash. I'll give you an example. All right. If we're looking at Bitcoin, okay, if we're looking at Bitcoin and we say to ourselves, we're looking at Bitcoin like this, okay? And we say to ourselves, well, hang on. Bitcoin is in a bull market. Here we go. We've got 65K here, 66K here. But, you know, a couple of months ago, maybe a year and a half ago, we were at 3K. So for Bitcoin to go from 3K all the way to 66K, how is it sustaining that? How is it getting to a stage where it can handle, like, can it go any higher than this? Will it be able to handle this? Only the sensible people will ask questions like that. Now, yes, we get a pullback. After the pullback, we rally again to 69K. People are asking the same question. How can Bitcoin handle this? How can it sustain this type of market where it's gone from the lows here of 3,000 all the way to 69,000? Doesn't make much sense. Eventually, we cascade and we topple over. Right now, people are talking about shorting Bitcoin. People are talking about Bitcoin going lower. All right, fair play. But those people weren't talking about Bitcoin going lower here. They weren't talking about Bitcoin going lower in terms of can the can this bull market sustain itself? All right. Now, the same thing, if we go over to the dollar here, we've got a lot of people now who have become dollar maxis. All right. And the question you ask yourself here is, oh, the dollar's in a bull market. The dollar's in a bull market. Can the dollar sustain this bull market? All right. Has it ever done this before and come crashing back down? Well, yes, it has. Look at this exact price action that we've got here. Look at this area that we've got here. All right. Oh, I'm not going to be able to. It's gonna cancel out. Yeah. All right. Maybe you guys will still be able to see it. But look at this area here. All right. So you've got this area like this. Okay. Look at this purple box. Right. Have we not seen the exact same thing here? Have we not seen the exact same thing here? You know, the question you got to ask yourself is, when the market is crashing or when the market is pumping like crazy, that's what the market does. It entices you. It tells you, yeah, as the dollar keeps going up, you're going to want to keep shorting everything else. You're going to want to keep buying more dollars. You're going to think to yourself, yeah, bro, the dollar's never coming back down. This is the bull market. This is the dollar time. This is where the dollar shows everybody what's up. When in reality, it's just playing another cycle. All right. George Crypto, welcome to the chat. I really appreciate you for joining, bro. Really, really appreciate you. George Crypto is a good friend of mine. He was in the class with me and SC in 2018, became a fantastic trader, somebody I really respect. George, we need to get you on the show, man. We need to get you on the show. If you're ever free, hit me up in DM and let's schedule you to come on the show and talk about Bitcoin a bit. Show these guys your skills, man. You know, George's charting is phenomenal. I love it. I love it. Great student of SC. Great student. Big respect to George. Follow him over at Twitter. I think it's George Trader. Is it George Trader 1? George, drop your Twitter in the comments if you don't mind, bro. Anyway, sorry for that. I digress. I'll go back to it. So what I was saying, going back to what I was saying was, you know, in right now we're at a stage in Bitcoin where everybody is looking to continue to short this thing. Everybody's saying that we're going to go lower, and notice that the news is not as bearish as it was when we were crashing. This news that we've got now, where inflation is at an all-time high, we've got macroeconomics that are just saying everything down, we've got money that's no longer going to come into the market. Why is this news coming out now? Because it wants to entice you. This is the peak of the bear market. We are finishing the bear market just the same way that the peak of the bull market was here. And we were talking about Bitcoin going to 100K, 150K, crypto's never coming down. A lot of the reason that we all lost our money was because we believed Bitcoin was going higher and it came crashing down. Okay? All these bearish pieces of information, if they had come out here when the concerns were valid, everybody would have got short. Everybody would have won. Agreed? But no, the information is coming out now. Now they're increasing these rates by this much. Now they're doing all these things that are making you think that this thing is going to zero. Now, I do think Bitcoin has one leg left to go lower. However, what I will say is this. If we are going to go lower, do not sell yourself thinking that it's going to go much lower than sort of 11 to 15K. If it does wick into 10K, 9K, whatever, I'm telling you, this is not financial advice, but for me personally, the bottom is in. Okay? Because how much we spoke about Bitcoin going to 69K, and the argument was how long can it sustain this bull market? We spoke about the dollar going up and how everybody's a dollar maxi at the moment. Every time you talk to someone about the dollar, they talk to you about the dollar going even higher. Absurd targets. The dollar going to go 10% more next week. That's what they're all saying. All right. Nobody's saying how long can the dollar sustain this bear market. And it's the same in reverse. Exact same in reverse. We are at a stage now where people are going to start saying, well, only the sensible traders, only the sensible macro experts are saying, how much lower can this thing go? Are we looking for shorts or are we looking for a generational buying opportunity? One like we got here in November 2018, one that we got here in March 2020. Where is that generational buying opportunity going to come? And likewise, if you reverse that, where does the generational selling opportunities come? Selling Bitcoin here at 66K, only to be revisited, swing fail, and sell off. Generational selling opportunities. Okay, you'll only get to sell Bitcoin here at these prices once every 4 or 5 years. That's a whole generation skip, bro. I'm not talking 50, 60 years, but that's a whole generation skip. Your kid won't be your kid anymore by the time you can sell Bitcoin back up here again. And it's the same thing. We'll go much lower. Everybody will think that we're going to zero. Bitcoin will start going crazy. We'll get good bullish news only when we get to like 80, 90, 100K. Once we get to 80, 90, 100K, that's when people are going to be trying to trick you into thinking this thing will never go down. And what will it do? It will come crashing back down. We'll have support here. One day we'll be talking on the show saying Bitcoin is down from 130K. We've just hit 30K support. Could 30K be the new low? That's what we're going to be thinking. Everything that you see here is going to be some sort of support later down the line. All right. Now, I hope my waffling here hasn't. Yo, it's a bit mad. That's a bit mad. Hold on a second. Let me put my light on. There we go. Now you guys should be able to see me clearer. Cool. So like I said, when it comes to these market dynamics, when I see news like this, for me, it's just getting closer and closer and closer to the bottom. I really feel like we're almost there. Not far. We are not far. You know. And I leave it to you guys to decide. But look, here we go again. Eurozone inflation reaches a new all-time high, okay, of 9.9%. I want you guys to think for a second. Think for yourselves, okay? What if this article here said Bitcoin reaches new all-time high of $150,000? Okay? If you're an avid reader of Bitcoin magazines and whatnot, you're gonna look at it and think, raw, should I be buying Bitcoin right now? Bitcoin, that's the new craze, isn't it? That's really the new craze. Everyone wants to buy Bitcoin. Maybe I should put some money into Bitcoin. You put money into Bitcoin at 150K, Bitcoin goes up to 155K. You're like, wow, this is the new big thing. This must be the next massive thing. If this thing goes to 150 million, then I'm gonna have made crazy money. All right. And then what happens? We start bouncing. Now I'm telling you, this news here, it is bearish news, massively macro bearish news, but to me, it's signifying the beginnings of accumulation. Now, you guys know my favorite subject is market cycle theory. Okay, I love the market cycle theory. I love knowing that Bitcoin goes through stages where it has a bull market for a year, it has a bear market for a year, it has an accumulation period for a year to a year and a half, X, Y, and Z. The last half of that year and a half could be considered the exit of a bear market. All right, could be. All right, remains to be seen. March 2020 to November 2020, I would argue that was a solid exit of the bear market. I think a lot of people made good money from that. I think even there were even a few altcoin launches like Polkadot launched during that time, no? So, I do think I do think we're getting there. And look, George says it here as well. George says bullish news mark tops, bearish news mark bottoms. Like I said, I do think we've got one leg to go lower, and I don't think that leg is going to come in a trending environment right now. Although we've been squeezing right now. Okay, on the Bitcoin chart. If I bring it back up here, yes, we have been squeezing. Yes, a big move is on the horizon. Everybody's getting chopped out. I totally agree with that. However, I don't think that price is just going to just shoot down like this. I don't think it will do that. What I think it will do is I think it will do something along the lines of what it did here in 2018. All right? I think it will do something like this. That's what I think it will do. All right. It will take time. Notice how we're squeezing here. We're squeezing there as well. It will take time. And the accumulation period will take as long as it wants to. As soon as we get sort of back above that 20K level, well, the last time we had a rally above 20K, we saw what happened, right? 20K is the biggest level for Bitcoin. Okay. The first time, how do I know it's the biggest level for crypto? I'll tell you why. In 2017, where did we top out? 20K. In 2020, where did the big move started coming? The big up candles, it came after 20K. When we reversed and we went into a bear market in 2022, where did we find the biggest support and resistance? Where did we chop? We chopped and found the biggest support at 20K. All right. So once we break below 20K, where are we going to find the biggest resistance? 20K. All right. And if we do our accumulation thing, do however long it wants to take, once we get back above 20K, bruh, look how healthy that would look as well. That would look healthy to me as well. That would look super, super healthy. Follow the channel, follow the. Oh, goodness, what is this? Hold on. That would look perfect to me. That would look perfect to me. You know? Something like that. Okay? And watch, I'm telling you, watch. In 2 years, this trend line will be a meme. I guarantee you, I shit you not. It will be a meme, this trend line. Just because that's the trajectory Bitcoin's following. All we need to do now, the biggest part of it is done. Okay? The biggest part of it is done. I tell you what, if you were a serious player, you would have known about the euro and UK inflation, US inflation. You would have known about these things way before they happened. All right. Then, like Trader XO, you would have been shorting the market from sort of around 63K. Okay. That's where you would have. But we didn't. And now we're here. We're at, what's it called? We're at 19,200. 19,200. Are we pumped a little bit? Interesting. Tiny bit. Interesting. Don't forget the ranges are marked out at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, if you don't remember, go back to the beginning of the stream and see the ranges are marked out. Might be a little range play in that chop. Anyway, the point I'm making is now we are at 19,200. All right, and we can't be aggressive with looking at lower prices because the biggest bearish news that we've got is here now. The US stock market continues to tank. Winter is here. We can't afford heating. We can't afford nothing. Even I'm more broke than I've ever been. All right. Considering in comparison to where I was in the bull market. All right. UK inflation, Eurozone inflation. We've got China oil import, which we're going to talk about in just a second. All right. We've got more oil to talk about. All of these news that are coming out now, they're all making us believe that price is strictly in one direction. But if anything was to change, if anything changes over the next couple of months, then do you really think that all of this downside that we've had isn't going to reverse at some stage? Do you think? Now, Shane is asking a question here. Shane says, do you think we rally to 22 to 24K then dump? To be honest, it doesn't matter, man. I was talking to XO this morning. He called me right before I went into the gym. We were talking about this, and he was saying, look, NJ, why are you worried about catching along from wherever price is right now in a no man's area and riding it to 25K? Why not just wait for 24, 25 to slam it back down? If we're going to go lower, all right, like I said, I don't think that we're going to just shank in one go. I don't think we're going to do that. It's possible, and I could be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I don't think we'll do that. I think what we'll do is we'll come up just a tiny bit more. A tiny bit more. I don't know how far it will want to go. It could be as far as 21, 22K. I do think it's possible. But then everything after that, I do think we're going to start getting the breakdown from there. And I think it will be more like this. That's what I think it will be like, all right? Then we can start like this, and then we can start making our way up, right? That's literally what I think is going to happen. So we're getting there. We're getting there. It is en route. It is on the horizon. I want more of this bearish news to come out. I want things to get worse. I do, okay? Because when things get worse like this, then it's literally the opposite of the bull market, babes. It's literally the opposite of the bull market. All right? Literally, just picture the bull market top. Imagine how you felt during the top of the bull market. And imagine how bullish you were. Bro, I was rapping on Twitter. I was rapping on Twitter. That's how bullish things were. Busta Rhymes hit me up. Busta Rhymes follows me on Twitter. He hit me up and he was like, let's do a thing together. Let's collab together. I've got a crypto project launching. Can you do a music video for it? I was like, yeah, go on then. It was lit. That's what the bull market was like. And I noticed, just flip that, reverse it. Just flip it and reverse it. What's the worst that could happen? And that is where we are now. EH says, where is your idea invalidated? My idea is well, we need a setup first, my bro. Watch the beginning of the stream to see what range levels I'm using, and then you'll be able to see for yourself. Can you tell us your trading system? No. Crypto Mac says hustle. Frederico says Liz Truss resigns from. You're joking. You're joking. I don't believe that. Oh my god. No way. Frederico, big up Frederico. Big man ting. That is mad. So the first woman that comes into power after all these years. Oh my days, that's mad. We should. Your Crypto Mac is right. We should have Ten Hag for Prime Minister. Well, we play fantastic football. We play fantastic football. We try to get us out of the bear market to try get us back into the bull market. Excuse me. Right, let's have a look at this. Excuse me. Okay, so Liz Truss is set to make a statement outside number 10 Downing Street amid reports that the Prime Minister is going to resign. No. This is too late. This is 1:35 p.m. and it is 1:37, but 1:30 p.m. is when she's making the statement. So okay, here we go. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can bring it up. Hang on. If I can bring it up, we'll watch it. Yep, here it is. Yeah, smash up the likes, please.
Nobody liked me. Nobody liked me.
No,
Sometimes I felt like nobody liked me.
Unlucky, bro. Unlucky.
That's right, Anna. And let's just reflect for a moment on the attempt of Liz Truss, attempt of her regime, and where it all ended up, because it didn't have to go this.
Please do smash up the likes if that's all right. Please do smash up the likes.
She stood on. The party like that, party members like that, lots of MPs like that. They wanted tax cuts. They wanted to go for growth. But the staging and the pitch rolling of these plans was just done in a way that didn't bring people with her. And as any Prime Minister, any leader knows, you're only as strong as the people that come with you, that you rule, if you like, by consent and by support. And I think what happened with Liz Truss was she had won the party membership over, she had won the position, and with that she took absolute power. And I say that in the sense that she decided to not include Sunak supporters in her cabinet. She then unleashed an economic programme which she said went against Treasury orthodoxy. In fact, she was quite critical. I'm just going to grab a brolly. It's raining a bit now.
You could grab a brolly. It's raining a little bit, love. Bruv, just give us the speech, man.
She was critical in the leadership race of the Bank of England for the Conservative.
Was due to happen to office.
Here we go.
Time of great economic and international instability. Families and businesses were worried about how to pay their bills. Putin's illegal war in Ukraine threatens the security of our whole continent, and our country has been held back for too long by low economic growth. I was elected by the Conservative Party with a mandate to change this. We delivered on energy bills and on cutting national insurance. And we set out a vision for a low-tax, high-growth economy that would take advantage of the freedoms of Brexit. I recognise, though, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party.
No way.
I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
Whew, that is mad.
This morning I met the chairman of the 1922 committee, Sir Graham Brady. We've agreed that there will be a leadership election to be completed within the next week. This will ensure that we remain on a path to deliver our fiscal plans and maintain our country's economic stability and national security. I will remain as Prime Minister until a successor has been chosen. Thank you.
And so Liz Truss announcing her resignation as Prime Minister.
Blood, that's mad. That's mad. Crypto Mac is saying, bring Boris back. Wow. That changed, man. This episode changed. We was going to talk about BitBoy. This is a bit mad. All right, so look. Hold on a second. This is perfect. This is literally perfect. Who's that? This is literally perfect. Okay? The reason this is perfect is because, again, we are getting worse and worse and worse. All the bearish news is coming out now. Think about it. Just reverse it in the bull market. I don't want to toot my own horn here. I don't want to spin the same record over and over again. But just think about it. Think about it. The worse that this gets, the more that people talk to you saying it's gonna get worse, the more it signifies to me that the bear market is almost done. All right? Think about it. And also, even from a GBP USD perspective, right? Even from a pound perspective. Look at this. Look at this. Okay? Even from a pound perspective. Now, I don't know how old you guys all are. All right? I don't know how old you guys are, but all I'm gonna say, the pound swung failed a 1985 low. 1985 low. All right. All of this price action that's happened, all of this to come back and swing fail this low. I'm telling you, don't bet against the market. Okay? Don't bet against. So hold on. So look, this is a fantastic question. Thomas says, but bro, the bear market only would have lasted 1 year. Isn't that too little? I think we're going to be in bear market for 10 years. Fantastic question, Thomas. Fantastic question. I'll tell you something. When Bitcoin was at 69K, a lot of people said that we were going to go into a multi-year bull market. Okay? And I'll tell you why people said that. I'll show you why. BTC USD. Which one is it? Bitfinex. If we go to the log view, when we were in a channel here, people thought, is it like this? It might be. It might not be 100% right. It's not going to be 100% right. Sorry, but we'll see. Okay. Now look what we've got here. I don't know if you guys can see my lines very clearly. Okay. Look what we've got here. Look how we touch the bottom of the channel. We deviate the top. We deviate the bottom. Deviate the top. We tap it here and we rally. Where are we right now? Where are we right now? Do you guys really think? You know when we were here, when we were right here, people thought that Bitcoin was going to do this. Man like Data Dash, Nicholas Merton was, I actually respect him. I don't completely agree with his views, but, I do respect him. So when we were here, what was he saying? He was saying if we break this macro trend line here, then for the first time, we're going to get pure Bitcoin parabola where it would be something like this. All right? But we didn't. Instead, we made a lower high and we've come back to the bottom of the channel. So yes, we can have a deviation, but I would expect us to get back above and follow the channel. Where else have we seen another channel like this? Please pay attention. The last time I saw a channel like the one I'm seeing on Bitcoin here was our good friend, the dollar. Okay? Look at the dollar. Look at the dollar and tell me if you are seeing the same pattern. Okay? Again, same channel. It's the same channel as Bitcoin, right? Same channel, marking the top, marking the bottom. Every time we get to the top, we always go to the bottom. And now we are once again back to the top. So what do you guys think about accumulation? So going back to what you said here, Thomas, in terms of the bear market, the cycles work in stages. Okay, you've got the bull market, which did last for a year. You've got the bear market, which it has nearly lasted for a year. All right. However, I think accumulation is about to start. I think either the low is in or the low is about to be printed over the next 2 months, maybe even sooner. All right. And I think personally that we're going to go through accumulation now. Just notice so many people are leaving crypto. There is more money being pulled out. In fact, when we talk about money being pulled out, yo, careful with your comments, bro. You'll get banned for chatting like that, bro. You'll get banned for chatting like that. Keep the opinions coming in, but just be careful with what you say. So, when I talk about just going back to what I was saying, when I talk about accumulation can take as long as it wants. But the point I'm making is, in terms of a bull market in the dollar, in terms of a bear market in Bitcoin, we are getting to that stage now. We're getting to that stage. The rally is done. If you're looking at the dollar, are you really looking at longs here? If I mark out this channel, I show you the deviations, I show you everything, I show you where support and resistance is, I've given you a range to work with, I've given you everything that you need. Are you looking for longs here? Do you really think that after a move from the bottom of the channel to the top of the channel, we're going to do something like this? And if so, then why? Because if you're saying this is going to happen, arguably what you're saying is that this is going to get maybe double worse. So yeah. So I leave that to you to make a decision. Let's quickly move on and talk about some of the other stuff. It's quite crazy that the Prime Minister has resigned. That's nuts. Thank you to Federico up top to for sharing that. So look, we'll run through these and then we'll wrap up the stream. Just bear with me one moment. Okie just do this. Please drop a little like spike if you guys don't mind. And if you haven't subscribed, bottom right hand corner, takes a second to do. Would really appreciate all of you guys that do that. We're still at 4,530 subscribers. We need to get a move on. We're on our way to 5K subscribers. Show some love to the NJ community. Help us out and let's get that going. All right. So look, China oil imports soar as Beijing prepares to supply European fuel demand. All right. Now, we saw on yesterday's episode, we quickly had a quick look where we saw China telling other countries that they won't be able to import and export anymore in terms of oil. And what they said was they were urging Chinese members of other countries, Chinese residents of other countries, to come back to China because winter is here. All right. This is going to be one of the worst winters, if not already is the worst winter that a majority of families have faced in the world. And it's a very, very sad subject. All right. So China are saying crude oil imports into Asia jumped in September. Normally news would spark hope for demand and consequently prices. But this time it's more complicated and it has less to do with Asian demand than demand in Europe oil imports in Asia. All right. So in terms of exactly, that's exactly what I was going to explain. JMO said it here. It's a smart arbitrage play by China. Look, it's going to cost cheaper in China to get their oil. It's gonna still raise the demand. They're better off keeping it in this particular instance as opposed to selling it on. They sell it, they're going to make money, but money is not what they need right now. What they need is energy. They need the actual resource itself. All right? Because the demand for the country in itself, that's where we are. Now, the thing is, when it comes to manufacturing, I was talking about manufacturing recently, okay? Is it ISM PMI? What's the ISM? I've got a chart, man underscore PMI. Does anybody know what the manufacturing is? There it is. There we go. I've got it. Never mind. So notice here, same thing with manufacturing, ISM manufacturing. Notice how we are starting to break down now. All right. We are starting to break down. We swung fail this high here, and we're starting to push lower. So this is delayed information. This is very, very delayed information. So we can't use it to trade off it. But what we can see is that we're starting to get what's going to look like this. And, once we get to that stage, like I said, accumulation for Bitcoin, that's when I'd be looking to buy Bitcoin. I'm expecting something like this. As long as it keeps doing this, that's bull market, bear market, bull market, bear market. You compare this. You take this to the previous charts, all right? This chart starts from 1948, March 1948. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's never done this. It's never done that. And it's never done that either. All right. So as long as it continues to do that, I'm going to play the market for what it gives me. I really think that the bull market, there will be another one as well. I'm not clinging on to it as though I'm desperate for it. I'm telling you guys what I see. All right. So I'll let you guys decide anyway in terms of what you guys think. But the point of this, the real point of this here is China looks like it wants to hold on to its oil, which again is going to add in terms of energy prices going higher. It's going to make things a little bit more intense, but that's okay because we're getting intense information coming out from every country. UK, Europe, obviously today, as we get this yesterday, right? Britain hits 10.1% inflation. And today, what do we get? Prime Minister resigns. China's holding all its oil. Eurozone hits 10% pretty much. Oil companies, more talking about oil companies here. Biden scolds oil producers on buybacks as Ukraine war wages. You guys know that Russia are not distributing the way that they were in the past due to this Ukraine war that they've got. Things are getting worse, all right? But what we'll do is we'll go over to the headline news now, an hour and 10 minutes into the show. I'm very sorry, guys. I'm very sorry. I got a little bit ahead of myself in terms of this. We should have spoken about this in the first sort of 10 minutes, but I got caught up and I apologize for that. So Tesla makes no changes to its Bitcoin holdings in the third quarter. So there was news coming out to suggest that Tesla had sold a lot of their Bitcoin stock, all right? Now, we know that they did that anyway in the first quarter. I think they sold, it says it here, 218 million. They sold more. They sold like 900 million. All right, we'll read this together. All right. Electric car maker Tesla did not sell any of its Bitcoin holdings nor purchase any additional Bitcoin in the third quarter, which is the quarter that we've just left. We are in Q4 now. The company reported Wednesday in its latest earnings reports the value of its digital assets remained at $218 million, the same as they were at the end of the second quarter when Tesla surprised some investors by selling $936 million worth of Bitcoin, or approximately 75% of its total holdings, in order to raise cash. Tesla reported no impairment charges to the value of its Bitcoin holdings as the price of the cryptocurrency, blah, 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 blah. CEO Elon Musk said on the company's second quarter earnings call that the sale was made because of the uncertainty of the COVID lockdowns in China, but noted that Tesla is open to boosting its Bitcoin exposure in the near future, and the sale should not be taken as some verdict on Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin fell about 1.7% on the initial news at the time, but soon regained its losses after Musk's remarks the call. So look, for me personally, Elon Musk is the closest thing that we're going to get to Iron Man. Okay, it's just the facts. This is the closest thing we'll get to Tony Stark. All right. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin, I know that he's a believer of Bitcoin, but a lot of people get confused. A lot of people think if he buys Bitcoin, Bitcoin is going to soar. And if he doesn't buy Bitcoin, that means Bitcoin is bearish. But let me ask you, where was he when Bitcoin was in 2011? When Bitcoin was at $100 or $50 or $10 or 10 cents or $1, where was he during that time? And is he the reason that Bitcoin went to 20K from 10 cents? He isn't. Is he the reason that Bitcoin went from 20K to 40K? No, he isn't. Did he get involved in the bull market? Yes, he did. So even if he put in 50 million right now, do you know what would happen? It would just be the pump that we were talking about. If he put in 50 bar right now, price would probably pump to 21, 22K and then come back down to 19, 18K and probably get sent lower. All right. You have to respect the market cycles. You just have to. Elon is one of many, many rich people that, people that are as rich as him. They don't usually come out into the open like that. He's someone that's in the open, albeit he's worth what, 200-300 billion. There are other people in the world that are worth trillions. There are families that are worth trillions. They don't come out in the open like that. They're not on the news. They don't do podcasts. They're not on YouTube. Do you know what I'm saying? These families, they control what's going on, bro. If they want price to be something, price will be it. The powers that be is what we call them. All right. So when it comes to Elon Musk, I really don't think that this is bearish. I don't think it's bullish either. I do want him to get involved, and I know he will get involved, but Elon is also playing the market cycles. He is. When the market looks a little bit less turbulent, as it does now, think about all the madness that's going on. We've got Liz resigning today. We've got inflation at an all-time high. We've got influencers fighting each other, which is what we're going to come on to now. This is just the state of the market that we're in. Okay? So moving over to this, BitBoy and Sam are beefing. I don't know if you guys are interested on this, but this is to do with crypto regulation, right? Regulation is coming to crypto whether we like it or not. And in the next cycle, that's one of the things that I think that we need to pay attention to. Regulation. That's where I think is going to be different in the next cycle compared to the current cycle we just had. 2017 regulation wasn't a big deal. The market wasn't a big deal. The KYC and whatnot was a big thing, but in the last cycle we saw that KYC was in fact a very, very big thing. Now I think going into the next cycle, KYC is going to be even bigger than that. I think that it's going to be very, very difficult to do the things that we did in the last cycle, but it will be new. It will have a lot of shiny new toys. We'll see what's going on. So obviously SBF here says his current thoughts on regulation. He's talking about industry regulations here. And Peter McCormack responds and says, is this what's best for FTX? SBF responds and says, nope, it's definitely not what's best for FTX, but that is okay. BitBoy responds, and now we know that BitBoy's got a bit of a personality, this guy, you know what I'm saying? He responds and he says, I hope you're ready, bud. And SBF responds saying, have fun shilling Nance, as in Binance, all right? We got a random guy here that, according to BitBoy, he has confirmed that Sam is working behind the scenes with politicians to push a federal bit license, which he will have first to try and make FTX have a monopolistic power over the space, and he wants to make all DeFi illegal like Uniswap. That's controversy at its finest. You know what I mean? I don't think we're ready to lose Uniswap and SushiSwap and all these other swaps. I think we need them in the crypto space. This is what makes crypto crypto. SBF responds anyway and says that is definitely not what I'm doing. BitBoy responds and says, big words coming from someone who literally used VC money to pump up Solana. People see right through you. You're a liar and you know it. Don't worry, our bill is going public soon, and then I can tell the whole story. Your policy team held us up and then tried to steal our backers. That is huge. All right, it is information. It's not huge in the sense that it's huge, but it's huge because of what they're arguing about. That's what's serious. You know what I mean? So he goes, I can't even pass that. Solana has nothing to do with this. I don't know how I use VC money to pump it. I'm not Solana and I didn't sell it to VCs. Also, I have no idea what held us up and then tried to steal our backers even means. ICX Node already posted a version of the bill. All right? BitBoy responds to say, this is real stuff that happened. People are going to know. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with that, because honestly, if any exchange, albeit if it's the top exchanges like Binance or FTX, if any of them are to come out and say, we want to change it, we want a bill that comes, a license that comes, that only makes it so that we can trade, then to me, that's not good. That's a fat power grab. It's a money cash scheme. It's a scheme utilized to add more money to the game. It's a game of money. It's no longer a passion about crypto. I wouldn't agree with that. I hate to say this, but if BitBoy is right, if everything that we are seeing here is true, I would agree more with BitBoy, with this Carl guy, whoever this Carl guy is here. This is not something that I would want to happen in crypto. It would force us to trade only on FTX, only on Binance, where we'd have to KYC. I think there's a limit to how much KYC we should have in the space. And I think that the deeper you dive into the space, the more KYC you need. But we shouldn't lose sight of what crypto is. We shouldn't lose sight of the privacy of having no middleman to tell us what to do with our money and to tell us how to use our money. Okay? That's just my take on it. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments as well. And to be honest, guys, I think I am going to wrap it up here. One more to talk about in terms of regulation. What they tell you crypto regulation means, they say less scams, less hacks, and more clarity. What crypto regulation actually means is you can't trade on the best exchanges. We've seen that happen to Binance. In 2017, Binance had insane volume for that part of the bull market. And what happened was the US came out saying you can't trade on Binance. People used VPNs. It didn't really work out. Okay. Binance created its own other Binance, Binance US, where they follow the US laws and regulations. I don't know how well that's worked out. You can't receive certain airdrops. You can't get involved in the crypto events that happen. Tokens can't pass values to holders because otherwise it will be deemed as a security. You can't buy new tokens. Any tokens that are from the private sale point of view or the pre-sale point of view, you can't get involved in those. And you have ultimately significantly less privacy. And Gaza says it here. I appreciate this comment here. Gaza says, I think Sam of FTX is getting a bit too much control in the space. And I agree. I think that's where the biggest issues come around. Control. Control is the main word, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's good. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to wrap it up there. Maybe we'll do a short Q&A. We'll do a short little chat. So if you guys want to chat, now is the time to chat. I'll go through some of these comments. I'll give you guys a minute to drop in anything that you guys want to say or anything that wants to come up, anything that you guys want to talk about. And then we'll see. I'm going to shoot after that. All right. So yeah, Crypto Mac is saying eventful episode. Yes, it was. A few things happened today. There were quite a few things that happened today. The episode was a little bit all over the place because I should have spoken about the Tesla thing first, and we should have really dived into that first. I do apologize one more time, everyone, for the structure of today's episode. Today's episode wasn't as structured as I'd like it to have been, but all good, all good. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Smash up the likes, by the way, if you don't mind, and also subscribe, bottom right hand corner. It would really mean a lot if you guys could subscribe, bottom right hand corner. If you're new to the channel, I think a lot of you guys here are regular joiners, but for anyone that's new, consider it. It takes a second. It's not a big deal to subscribe to the channel. And obviously, if you are enjoying the content, then please, that was an accident. If you are enjoying the content, then please do consider joining the Telegram group as well. All right. In It for the Tech has its own Telegram group. It's the first link in the description below. All right. It doesn't look like anyone has much to say. Have you read the books The Fourth Turning and Hard Times Create Strong Man? Really recommend it. Yeah. All right. Cheers. I'll take a look at it. I don't know if I'll read any books anytime soon, but yeah, thanks for that, bro. Crypto Caf says Liz is gone. Yep. Liz Truss is resigned. She made a statement saying she's resigned. Michael Caffrey says, Safe G, thoughts on odds? It's not an oracle, it's an options, futures, and perpetual trading platform. Honestly, Michael, I'm very sorry to say this. I don't think that it's going to make it, unfortunately. I don't think so. I really think that in terms of altcoins, not many are going to survive. Okay. Like, yes, we are going into accumulation. We're finishing up with a bear market in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum, but a lot of these altcoins have a lot more blood left to bleed. And I don't see a project like odds soaring anytime soon. Okay, so I am very sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear, but at least if you have an opportunity to recoup some of your original investment, you might be able to do that. I don't believe in the project at all. All right. But anyway, guys, I'll leave you there. I love you and leave you. Remember that nothing I say is financial advice. All right. We talk a lot about finances in this chat, but nothing is financial advice. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the NJ Show. All right. Cheers, everyone. Goodbye.